Hey, welcome back to ScreenCrush. I'm Ryan Airy, and Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania gave us the MCU debut of Kang the Conqueror. Well, kind of. But now the question becomes, when will we see him again? Deadpool 3? Fantastic Four? Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse?
Die Hard? No, that's not one.
Following the second post-credit scene of Quantumania, we got a teaser text that read, Kang Will Return. And the next Avengers movie is called Avengers: The Kang Dynasty, so of course we're going to be seeing him again.
I'll be back.
Both post-credit scenes to Quantumania featured variants of Kang. The first one gave us the Council of Kangs, with variants like Immortus, Rama Tut, and the Scarlet Centurion, as confirmed by director Peyton Reed, as well as thousands of other Kangs in this arena. Now, we actually have a video up on the channel right now breaking down that post-credit scene and who each of these Kangs are.
Oh boy, looks good on the tube.
The second post-credit scene gave us a sneak peek at Loki Season 2 with our first look at the Kang variant Victor Timely. Now, after that post-credit scene, the screen reads, Kang Will Return, which led us to speculate that this specific Quantumania Kang will be returning not only in Loki Season 2, disguised as Victor Timely, but that this same Kang from Quantumania will be the Kang of Kang Dynasty. But it's also possible that this line is just a reference to more than just Quantumania's Kang, but all the Kang variants. In that first post-credit scene, we hear the Kang variant Immortus say,
"They're beginning to touch the multiverse, and if we let them, they will take away everything we've built. So let's stop wasting time."
He's pretty good at that.
Right?
This is a direct setup for a conflict between our heroes and the Council of Kangs. So what if we see Kang variants play the antagonists of multiple upcoming MCU movies and shows? What if we see our heroes go toe-to-toe with different Kangs throughout phases 5 and 6, laying the groundwork for Kang the Conqueror's triumphant return? What if we see our heroes inadvertently do Kang's dirty work by defeating the Kang variants that would have stood in his way? If variants like Immortus, Rama Tut, the Scarlet Centurion, and other variants go to war with the Avengers and lose, then that leaves the door wide open for Kang to swoop in and conquer the multiverse. So let's run down the upcoming movies and shows that I think we could see a Kang variant pop up in between now and the release of Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and Avengers: Secret Wars. First up, we've got Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3.
Do not bring me into this.
Now, the script for Guardians 3 was completed like 5 years ago, and from what we've seen in the trailers, it's pretty clear that Kang is not going to be playing any significant role in this film. The film's villain is the High Evolutionary. But then, I'm reminded of Thanos' role in the first Guardians of the Galaxy. Apart from his brief appearance in the Avengers post-credit scene, Guardians 1 was the first time we really met Thanos, the big bad of the Infinity Saga. So there would be something poetic about the Multiverse Saga's big bad making an appearance in Guardians 3.
It's like poetry, so if they rhyme.
And we need to remember that Kang is a cosmic level threat. He conquers entire universes. And with the Guardians almost certainly being part of the Avengers: The Kang Dynasty and Avengers: Secret Wars, a brief appearance in Guardians 3 could give us the Guardians narrative connection to Kang. Next up, we have Loki Season 2, which we've already mentioned will feature Jonathan Majors as at least Victor Timely. In the Season 1 finale, we saw Sylvie kill the Kang variant He Who Remains, which is what created the Council of Kangs.
You plunge your blade in my chest and an infinite amount of me start another multiversal war.
The final shot of the finale showed us a mortified Loki looking up at a statue of Kang the Conqueror. And in the Quantumania post-credit scene, we hear Mobius say, "You made him sound like this terrifying figure," to which Loki says, "He is." So Kang is definitely going to have a big role to play in this upcoming season. Next, we have the Marvels, featuring Carol Danvers' Captain Marvel, Kamala Khan's Ms. Marvel, and Monica Rambeau, who will likely take on the moniker of Photon. Now, we have done several videos talking about the connection between Ms. Marvel's bangles and Shang-Chi's 10 rings, and how they're both connected to Kang the Conqueror. So I think it's very likely that we could see Kang make an appearance, or at least be mentioned in this movie, as they explore the mystery of the bangle and inevitably the mystery of the 10 rings. Shang-Chi actor Simu Liu recently said that we'll be seeing the return of Shang-Chi a lot sooner than we think. I think this means that we'll be seeing him in the Marvels. Not only is there a connection between the 10 rings and the bangle, but we also saw Captain Marvel in the post-credit scene of Shang-Chi.
Not like any alien tech I've seen. How long did your dad have them before he gave them to you?
About 1,000 years?
Next we have What If Season 2. Now, What If was one of the MCU's first big explorations of the concept of the multiverse.
Where a single choice can branch out into infinite realities, creating alternate worlds from the ones you know. I am your guide through these vast new realities.
The Season 1 finale of What If gave us the Guardians of the Multiverse teaming up to take on Infinity Ultron. So perhaps Season 2 will feature variants of Kang in each episode, leading up to a finale showdown between the Guardians of the Multiverse and Kang the Conqueror, or the Council of Kangs. Only this time, they are not victorious. We could see the Multiverse Guardians be slaughtered by the Kangs, setting up just how powerful he is. And after they're defeated, we could see a surviving member, or maybe even the Watcher, retreat to Universe 616 to warn our Avengers about what's coming.
He's coming.
And then there's Deadpool.
Oh, hello.
Deadpool 3 is sure to be a multiversal extravaganza of its own. It'll give us Deadpool's entrance to the MCU, a new variant of Hugh Jackman's Wolverine, and it will likely set up Deadpool and Wolverine's roles in Avengers Secret Wars. Quantumania showed us that there are thousands of Kang variants, some less serious than others. So imagine if we get to see a more comedic version of Jonathan Majors' Kang show up in Deadpool 3. Perhaps a Kang that is not as smart as his other variants and has decided that he's going to conquer a universe on his own. But he screws it up so bad he ends up destroying the entire universe. Or we could hear Deadpool say something like, "Hey buddy, you picked the wrong universe. We got bought by Disney and the whole thing is getting rebooted." Getting to see Jonathan Majors play a more comedic and vulgar version of Kang would be so much fun before we get into the nitty-gritty of the Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. Imagine getting to see Deadpool and Kang cuss each other out or argue about how confusing the multiverse saga is.
These timelines are so confusing.
Another option we've theorized on before is that Deadpool will be pursued by the TVA following his time travel shenanigans at the end of Deadpool 2.
We're definitely naming our kid Cher!
We could see Deadpool get arrested by the TVA, which is now under the control of Kang or of the Council of Kangs. And maybe Wolverine has been arrested too for his time traveling in X-Men Days of the Future Past.
So I wake up in my younger body, God knows where. Then what?
So maybe we'll get to see them escape together and be on the run from the TVA and the Kangs. And then there's the Fantastic Four, the final film set to release before Avengers: The Kang Dynasty. In the comics, the Fantastic Four have a long history with Kang, Mr. Fantastic especially. Mr. Fantastic's Reed Richards and Kang's Nathaniel Richards share a common ancestor, and we think that that will be adapted into the films as well. In the Quantumania post-credits scene, we saw the Kangs teleporting into the arena, and the portal tech looks identical to Mr. Fantastic's portal tech in Multiverse of Madness. In that post-credit scene, we also saw the Kang variant, Rama Tut. Now, in the comics, Rama Tut's first appearance was in 1963's Fantastic Four, number 19. A bored scientist uses a time machine disguised as a Sphinx to travel back in time to ancient Egypt, and he becomes Pharaoh Rama Tut. Now, originally, this character was not Kang the Conqueror. Kang did not even exist at that time, but it was later retconned, and Rama Tut became Kang's first variant. So, it's possible that we could see this comic adapted in the MCU's Fantastic Four movie. In the comics, when Rama Tut escapes from the Fantastic Four back into the time stream, he encounters the Fantastic Four's greatest foe, Dr. Doom. If they adapt this scene into the movie, it could be the MCU's introduction of Dr. Doom, setting up his role in Avengers Secret Wars. Doom plays a major role in both comic versions of Secret Wars. Now let's talk Spider-Man.
Hey everyone.
Kevin Feige has confirmed that they have the story for Spider-Man 4 ready to go, and I think we can all agree that Spider-Man will no doubt be in Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars. Personally, I think it'll be one of the final films to release before the Kang Dynasty.
But then why did Marvel not announce it with their other Multiverse Saga movies?
Well, because Spider-Man films are technically Sony films, so they get to announce them first. It's also possible that every I hasn't been dotted and every T hasn't been crossed for the contracts for that movie. It's also likely that Sony is going to announce Spider-Man 4 at this year's CinemaCon, meaning that we will likely get a release date and can then place it on the Multiverse Saga timeline. Now, in Spider-Man Homecoming, we learned that Avengers Tower was being sold, but the owner remains a mystery. In the Loki series, In the Void at the End of Time, we saw the Avengers Tower, but instead of Avengers A, it had QENG, which is Kang Enterprises. In the comics, Kang Enterprises is owned by the Kang variant, Mr. Griffin. In All New, All Different Avengers, we see Mr. Griffin buy Avengers Tower, meaning that he is likely who bought the tower in the MCU. So perhaps we'll finally meet him in Spider-Man 4. Maybe we'll even see Peter get a job at Kang Enterprises, and it's there that he could discover something nefarious going down.
Peter Parker? Wait, who's Peter?
I don't know, I'm just reading what it says here. Now, speaking of Spider-Man, we've got Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Rumor has it that Sony really wants Tom Holland's Spider-Man to cameo in this movie, thus connecting the MCU Spider-Man to their animated Spider-Man franchise, and I would be totally down for that. We've seen animated universes in Multiverse of Madness, and What If is fully animated. With Across the Spider-Verse dealing with the multiverse and the MCU having already incorporated other Sonyverse projects into the Multiverse Saga, I think it's very likely that we could see some crossover between these two major franchises franchises. And maybe even an animated Kang the Conqueror or another Kang variant could make an appearance in this film or its sequel, Beyond the Spider-Verse. The title, Beyond the Spider-Verse, suggests that they'll be exploring beyond the Spider-Man-centric universes and interacting with other Marvel universes. So maybe part of Sony and Disney's Spider-Man deal includes Sony getting to use other Marvel characters in their Spider-Man animated movies, in exchange for the MCU using Spider-Man as their lead in a film like Avengers Kang Dynasty. So that's our thoughts on where we could see Kang and his variants pop up in upcoming Marvel TV shows and movies. Where do you think we could see Kang next? Let us know in the comments below, or you could @ me on Twitter. And if it's your first time here, please subscribe and smash that bell for alerts. For ScreenCrush, I'm Ryan Airy.